All right, guys, in today's video, we are walking through how to get to the $300,000 plus salary mark before you are 30 years old. So for those of you who are new, my name is Katie. I am a coach here at the Career Sprout, where on average, it takes us about 63 days to grow somebody's salary by about $37,000. Now, typically we can grow salaries by helping folks transition. Occasionally it is through promotions, pay raises, things like that. So let's dive in. There are three main things. I really thought about this for a while. And looking at myself and our students who are under 30 years old who have hit over 300,000, there was three things that really made the difference. Number one was picking the right vehicle, right? So let's say you are somebody who if you're going to make $300,000 or more, realistically, you are going to be passionate about whatever you're doing. So let's say you really are passionate about healthcare or education, whatever the case may be. Being a teacher, being a nurse likely is not going to get you there unless there's some outstanding circumstance or some special circumstance that is going to allow you to get there. However, if you were to make a pivot to say, okay, I'm really interested in education, but being a teacher isn't going to get me there, what career path could get me there a lot quicker, a lot faster than, being a professor, or a PhD with tenure, whatever the case may be. A lot of them are not making $300,000 plus, at least from their teaching. So a couple of paths that may make sense are going into tech, right? There are plenty of educational software as a service companies where within that, you don't have to be a coder, you could be a project manager, you could be a program manager. There's a lot of different things that you likely have transferable skills that can get you onto a path where you can be in the right vehicle to get to $300,000 plus. Now, the next part there, so number one, making sure you have the right vehicle, making sure it is actually realistic and common for your career path to get to $300,000 plus. Number two is picking the right mentors. And this is something that a lot of people talk about. It's very rare for you to have actual tactical information on how to find the right mentor. So when I say pick the right mentor, first and foremost, you want it to be somebody who is where you want to be. If you have mentors who are, making $100,000 or mentors who are making $1 million, right? You need to find the ones who have just done what it is you want to do in the time frame that you want to do it. That's a big thing that I notice with a lot of career coaches out there is a lot of them are older and they'll say, hey, you need to, go through all of the things that I went through to get here. I was really lucky. I was really fortunate that I found really young mentors right out of college who were already doing 7-8 figures in consulting fees or different paths that they had chosen. And so I was too dumb to know that it was supposed to take me longer to get there. I originally thought, yeah, it's going to take me, 50, 60 years old to hit these goals. And then I was just dumb enough to believe people that had done it quicker than me. And I followed their advice. And this is where it's really important, where a lot of people get tripped up. The second part of the mentors have to be where you want to, they have to be doing what you want to be doing, 1, 2, 5, 10 years down the road. But they also have to share your values, which means you have to know what your values are. It's very possible for you to go in, lie, cheat, steal your way to, make a lot of money. But if those are not your values, you are not going to feel good about yourself when you go and achieve those goals, because you're not going to feel good about how you achieve them. So it's very important you find mentors who share your values. Perfect example of that, my top core value as a human and within any company that I consult with is ruthless honesty. That is something that is super, super, super important to me, where I want people to be transparent. I want people to be honest. I want people to own their mistakes. And if I'm in a culture that is dog eat dog, you hide your mistakes, you'll do whatever you can to win, I don't thrive there. It is the wrong place for me. And so it's really important, one, that you've got the right vehicle, you're on the right career path. Number two, that you have the right mentors who are also along that career path, who can tell you, who share your values and can tell you, hey, here's where to go, here's what to avoid, here's what you can skip. Don't make the same mistakes that I made. If you are only learning from your mistakes, That is why it takes a lot of people decades to hit, different milestones, is because they're making all of the mistakes. They don't have anybody, sharing with them what they learned. Now, it is so much easier than people think to get a mentor. I, again, was dumb enough to just think, hey, why not give it a shot? When I was 22 years old, I reached out to like 7 Fortune 500 C-level executives and said, hey, you are where I want to be 20 years from now. Do you have any advice that you'd give your younger self? Very simple message to send. And all but one of them responded to me, and they didn't respond to me with like, stop dreaming or anything like that. They gave me some of the best advice that I've ever gotten in my life. I keep it all in a Google Doc. I would trade my entire college education just for the advice that's on that Google Doc. And it completely changed my life, not just because of the advice, but it changed how I looked at people and people's willingness to extend a hand and help somebody, like reach back, extend a hand and help somebody. And it changed how I did that. Now, people very regularly, I share this on a lot of workshops, that message that I sent, and people will very regularly send me that message now, and it lights me up. That's the thing. A lot of people think like, I don't want to bother them. That's not a bother to most people. Again, pick somebody who shares your values. That's something that lights you up. People really enjoy helping other people. And if you look at the world and you just take that as fact, will some people prove you wrong? Absolutely. Majority of people won't. Majority of people actually genuinely want to help you and actually want to see you succeed. It's a pretty cool thing when you start experiencing that over and over and over again. So number one, pick the right vehicle. Make sure you're on a path that can get you there. Number two, pick the right mentors, people who are where you want to be, 1, 2, 5, 20 years down the road, and share your values, very important. And then number three, invest in yourself. This is one of the most underrated things right now. And I always chuckle when I see people investing in crypto or Robinhood or whatever the case may be. And they'll talk about, oh man, I got, 20% returns is awesome. 50% returns, 100% returns. Like, can you believe it? When you invest in yourself, and I've still yet to have an investment that this hasn't proven true, you will get, it's very common to get 500% return. I mean, even with our career coaching program, and this is with employees, like you invest with us, our goal, a lot of times people are getting, $50,000 plus bumps. Our average is $37,000 plus bumps. Even if we charge $20,000 for that, we would beat the stock market a hand over, like every single time. We don't charge $20,000 for it. Maybe we should. But when you invest in yourself, the returns are so dramatically, the returns happen quickly and long-term, and it's so much better than any return that you could get on the market. And now there is a place where you will cap out and you will have excess and you can no longer invest in yourself. And then I recommend, go ahead, invest in whatever. I'm not a financial advisor. I'm not giving financial advice here. I'm saying what works for myself and, our successful students. But invest in yourself, get the skills you need to do your job extremely well, right? Get the skills you need to do a job transition extremely well. Get the skills you need to have communication skills, personal, emotional intelligence. Investing in those skills, and you don't have to invest, $10,000 every time. You can invest in really great books. Invest your time. That's one of the craziest things that I'll see is, people always say, hey, I don't have time, but they have a Netflix account. And when you go to, this is an exercise that I did, and it was very uncomfortable when I did it. I pulled out my phone and I looked at the screen time when it first came out. And I saw, wow, I keep saying I don't have any time. I think I just found a couple hours of my life looking at where my time was going on each of my apps. And really take a hard look and, do a time audit, do a personal audit of where you're at. And if you keep saying, hey, I don't have time to, invest in myself, I don't have time to do this, well, then where's that time going? If you have kids, if you have, family that you've got to take care of, all of that, you do have limited time. But most people don't work more than 60 hours a week, right? And we have 168 hours in a week. So if you're sleeping 8 hours a night, which most people aren't, that takes away, give or take 60 hours. That leaves you with 100 hours. Even if you're working 60, 70 hours a week, you still have another 30, 40 hours a week that is going somewhere. And so getting really efficient with that time and just taking the time to invest, even if it's 10 minutes a day into yourself will dramatically change your ability to be worth the $300,000, before you're 30. If you're watching this, if you're over 30, again, you can crunch down that timeline and make changes now to make those pivots so that you can get there sooner. So those are the three things. Pick the right vehicle, pick the right mentors, invest in yourself for all of your skills, not just the doing the job skills, but invest in yourself. I like to break it up into 4 different buckets: your mental health, your physical health, your relationship health, and your financial health. So with that, I hope it was helpful for you guys. That is what has been most helpful for those 3 things have been the most helpful things for me personally, and a lot of our younger students who, are really ambitious, who want to hit 300,000, 7 figures, with a company that they really admire. That's another key thing there. Doing something you love with a company that you really admire, oftentimes the paycheck then just becomes the bonus. Once you get over a certain point, everybody's point's a little bit different. The paycheck does not help. An increase doesn't help. It's more of a measuring stick to help you, to show you that yes, what I'm doing is providing value in a way that, rewards with money. So with that, hopefully you guys found this helpful. If you have any questions, if you have a specific situation that makes you think, hey, this isn't possible for me, or I don't have skills that I need, or I'm not sure what I should be doing, feel free to send us a message. You can just email info@careersprout.com, and or you can book, we have, for the next week or so, our calendar spots will be open, so you can book a call there. But hopefully you guys are having a good one. Talk to you soon.